Hey guys, so here is my build for the Brindleton Country Store. Wow. I actually went back into this lot at least like 5 times. And this video is actually longer than all of my others, and I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should trim it down, but then I'm like, just let it ride. It's just like, just let it be. And I'm like, gee, I hope I could talk for 30 minutes and some seconds. Um, so I did have this lot play tested outside of myself. Actually, I didn't even play test it. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't do the retail testing of it. Um, I planned on it, I think, but then my brain just fizzled and I was like, forget it. Because you know what it is? I built this world in my save file for the Age of Sims, and I'm going to I already have a sim in mind that I want to actually run this store. So if I would have jumped into that, it would have probably taken me longer to get this video together and on YouTube, because I would have just get caught up in playing my game. Um, so I did have a tester, and I don't know if they want me to mention their username on here. I should have asked before I did this video, but I will mention it because they took some great screen caps and they had a lot of fun playtesting this lot. So when I make my usual post on my blog with all the information and stuff, I'm going to add some screenshots that are this person's screenshots. Yeah, so I've built a country store before. I did it for the no skill, no problem scenario, which I actually had a lot of fun with that. And I did it in Brindleton Bay, and it was in the dead of winter, because when I do challenges and things like that, I kind of like to start off in the winter time. Like, especially if it's like a rags to riches kind of challenge, because I figured it just adds more, gameplay. Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, there's more challenges to it, because your Sims could freeze to death. Your Sims, they're not going to be able to find crops and grow gardens and things like that. And it was a lot of fun. And I built a country store though, so that one was a lot smaller, and it was in the center of town, so it was right around this area, but it was not on this particular lot. And I wonder if I still have it. I don't know. I wonder if I still have that lot. I hope I do, because I really liked it. But I had, it had vending machines and whatnot. I mean, it wasn't like extremely vintage looking as this is, but the inside you'll see is not entirely. I mean, it looks old fashioned, but there's Star Wars stuff in there that your Sims can buy, and not everything you can purchase. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that like your Sim can't get to, and I kind of knew that was going to happen, because I just jam packed it full of like stuff. Just wanted to make it look cluttered. And I thought, actually, now that I remember as I'm watching this, I was like, oh yeah, put all the stuff you want to use on the lawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, since you know what you want, um, put it on the lawn and it'll be fine. Yeah, and then I ended up having to move everything, and I'm like, wow, this was not a good idea. It's like, I mean, for the signs it kind of was, because there's just so much content, like when you have like multiple packs, that it's like you always are going to miss something that you really wanted in a build, and I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, that was not the best idea at all. And like, you see this here with the tools, I wanted to use that inside. I didn't even find a spot for that. I didn't even remember that when I went back to building, because it took me about, God, I don't know. I mean, it took me like probably 12 like hours or something to build this lot. I built it like within 2 days. And I was like, what the hell? You know? And then sometimes like I start to like think about like, am I really like, I'm saying I could be better at this. I mean, I know where like I know where a lot of things are in the game when it's time to build, but then there's still a whole ton of things that I don't even know where they are or I don't know what they are because I bought the wedding, what is it? My Wedding Stories pack at the same time that I bought the high school pack. And I didn't even get a chance to really play the game much to see what was new to the pack and so forth, which is odd because I usually try to find some kind of like build by review or something that's like on YouTube. I usually go to Simproved, but recently what did I buy? Oh, I bought the clutter pack and I went to is it Miss Griffey? I think. I think. And I got to check out the bathroom clutter pack to see if I wanted it, you know. So that's usually how I buy game packs is basically based off of build and buy because at this point in The Sims it's kind of like I mean, obviously if there's going to be some kind of gameplay, I'm interested in seeing that as well. But other than that, like that's pretty much what I buy. I would really like to get some of the like clothes kits or something like that, but it's like a lot of what we already have or it appears that way to me, you know? Like it's like if I see another freaking crop top, I swear. Like I know there was a post going on Tumblr or something about like please no more crop tops and it's like I mean it's hard, you know what I mean? Like everybody's going to play the game the way they want. Everyone's going to you know make the kind of Sims they want to make. But you know it's no surprise that like the Sims 4 caters to like the younger gen for real because it's like I don't know anybody at a specific age that's like out there trying to wear crop tops. And it's funny because when I was younger than I am now, I wasn't even wearing crop tops. It's just never my style, you know. Um, but it's like we have like there's a lot of clothes that came with the university pack that I loved. I love the university pack clothes, but so many of them are crop tops, and I'm like, why is this a thing? So, yeah. And then, you know, I'm like bouncing around between build and like packs, and like, I don't even know, like, I really don't know what else to talk about sometimes when I do these videos because, you know, it's like, sometimes I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I put that there? And especially for landscaping, I mean, the you know the whole idea of landscaping is just to cover up all that empty space that's on a lot like because once you have what you want like built once you have the building or the structure or whatnot it's like okay now what do you do with the lawn you know what do you do with the landscape and I lost some of my landscape when I loaded the lot back up to continue building and I'm like what happened to it like I don't know like that's the first time it ever happened and I'm like maybe this lot is getting glitchy because I'm adding so much stuff to it and oh by the way these birch trees I am severely allergic to birch like I mean my allergies aren't as bad as they used to be I mean I wasn't I never had allergies when I was a kid but then like somewhere in my like mid 20s I got severely allergic to literally everything but now that I've like gotten into my 30s, it's kind of like probably my system has changed or it's reverted back to like when I was a kid or something. I don't know. But I'm just trying to say like I was severely allergic to so many things and over here where I am, we got a ton of birch trees. So it's like every time I would step outside, I would be like, "Oh god." I was like, "No, I can't take this." But they're beautiful. I love birch trees. I know some of them they have like the brown trunk, but the white birch, yeah, like I really like the way those look, and they have them around Brindleton, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna put some on my lot. So I put some white birch trees, and that one actually is the other birch tree. Yep. And I almost put a public bathroom on here. And actually, the person that play tested this lot was like, no bathroom. And I'm like, for the employees. And I'm like, oh. In my other country store, I was like, okay, there needs to be a little bathroom because in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to need my sim that doesn't have anywhere to live. I'm like, I'm going to have her, um, you know, I'm going to have her go to the bathroom and whatnot. And it's funny because it's like, I remember I told a friend of mine that I was doing that challenge, and I don't know if she said something or if I thought of it while I was telling her. And I'm like, why is she living like, why is she homeless? And I said to myself, I'm really trying to get the challenge going here, like having her be homeless. But that was why I built the bathroom. And then I didn't build one here, but I actually went back and I did build a bathroom. It's just a little tiny bathroom. Just has one toilet and a sink and a mirror, and that's it. It's like meant to be like an outhouse looking kind of place, but I put it there. Now the lot next door like has the public bathrooms, and there's also the food stand that you could buy something. So I mean, all is not lost. If like Sims, if you're visiting the lot and you got to go to the bathroom, obviously you're not going to want to go use the employee bathroom or the shack in the back. I'm guessing. I don't know what kind of Sims you guys got. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying the option is there on the lot now because I didn't have one before. And these tables that like you could sell stuff on? I'm always confused. Like I did it once with one of my Sims for a while, but I haven't in a long while, and I don't remember if you could just like take those tables and just like pop up a shop anywhere you want. Um, which I would really like to try to do again with my gameplay, but there's several of them. There's like the one from Jungle Adventures. I think you could do something with. I think, but I'm not completely sure. Um, yeah, I was really going with this yellow, and then I started adding some orange into the flowers and the weeds and the shrubs and the bushes and whatever not. Um, I just thought it looked really cool. And this lot I think would also look good in Henford on Bagley, the world that came with cottage living. I'm just assuming. Um, because it's got that whole country vibe, but I don't know if the stuff inside of the store would vibe with that because that's supposed to be like the English countryside or something like that. Like it's almost like if you would try to pop this shop in like Windenburg, it might not blend too well. I think it would blend better in Henford, but you know what I'm like trying to say. Um, this build, I think I did more footage of it outside than inside, which it is what it is. You know what it is because my editing software that I have, I used to use like Sony Vegas once upon a time, and who knows whatever happened to it. I mean, I used it like 10 years ago or something was the last time. And then the one that comes with, I guess what replaced Windows Movie Maker is what I use to edit. So I'm kind of like just editing. I'm not really editing. I'm just kind of like putting stuff on the timeline. So I'm like pausing the video while I'm building, and then I'm like, cuz I'll forget. Like I will really forget what I am that I'm recording myself building. And then I'm like, oh God, I'm like, I gotta do this now. So I'm trying not to do too many edits or like cutting the footage because then it makes the program go berserk. So, and you think, I've noticed that like, I'm like, oh, I probably just built for like maybe 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you built for 25. And I know I'm going to speed it up, and I know I'm going to, speed up the footage, but I'm like, my God. Like I've been building for 20 minutes and I didn't even realize. So, yeah. I love putting signs up and everything like for shops and stuff. I just feel like it I don't know. And we have a ton of signs now. I mean, at one point I was like, this is all we got. But now it seems like, several packs they come with signs and stuff. Especially when you put like the buy debug stuff, and unlock everything. Which I know that I think there's a mod that you could put in your game that like always has that stuff turned on. And it's like, anytime I put it in my game, I feel like it never does what it's supposed to do, or I'm not doing it right. I don't know. There's something about it that it never works for me. So I literally put in like the cheats every time I turn my game on. But it's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, everybody's gonna play the game the way they want to play. But I'm somebody that came from the first Sims. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I have to punch in a cheat in order to get what I want, I'm not gonna freak the hell out about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think, I don't know. It all depends on what kind of person you are. Like the ease of doing something. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with age most of the time or some of the time. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not really, it doesn't really bother me that I have to like move everything around. And then this thing too here, like I don't use that tool mod, but I might try to use it at one point. But I'm just content with the way that I build right now. It's not a big deal to me. Um, yeah. And what about cars? Like, are we gonna get cars or what? I know so many. I know. I know. Sometimes people are like, "Why do we need cars? The Sims can't go that far," And I'm like, "That's true." But at the same time, why do we need horses? Like, Where are you gonna take your Sim horses? But at the same time, it's like if they give us cars, I'm gonna like check them out. If they give us horses, one of my Sims most likely will own a horse. So it's like one of those things where it's like I'm willing to give it a try, and it's no big deal to me. But it's like I'm not gonna get into a full on debate about why we don't need cars or why we do need cars. It's kind of like whatever's given is given. I'm not picky whatsoever, and yeah, I mean I'm just not. I remember there was a time where I think I was like on Facebook or something, and Facebook I usually just have for my family and my good friends. That's like all I use it for. And I usually check it out because I feel like there's like great memes on Facebook. And basically, I remember I was like looking at a Sims group. I don't think it was the official Sims group. I don't know. It was something, and somebody like went off on me because they were like, I'm like boycotting the game, and I'm like, okay. Like, I'm sorry that you're boycotting the game. And then I mentioned something like, oh, I bought this pack instead of that pack or something, and they're like, oh, you guys, or you're the kind of people that's the reason why we get all the crap that we don't want in the Sims. And like the person went off on me, and I'm like, who the hell is this person? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you know what I mean, like if you don't want to play the game anymore, then I have no control over that. So it was just one of those things. It was like, if you don't want to play, I don't know what to tell you. Like if you're just, it's like it's an individual kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, and then over here, this is the inside. I'm like getting sidetracked because I'm like, God, what else am I going to talk about? It's like I've only talked for like almost 20 minutes. That's what I'm used to, like the cutoff. And like here, we got to go another 10 minutes. I nearly took this fireplace out. Like, even while I was really building the inside of it, like I nearly took it out. I was like, no, forget it. Um, I was just putting some benches out here. I don't know. I mean, I'm envisioning that the store could get crowded because like when you have your Sims, I don't know if you play on retail lots, but if you play retail and it's like you send out advertisement, like I swear to God, you get like 100 Sims coming to the store at the same time, and you're like you can't. It's insane. Like sometimes it gets so glitchy, and there's so many Sims on the lot, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like. Let's hope that like some of them just like sit down, which they won't because the Sims are always standing around. They're always standing around and they never do what you want them to do. But that's why I put the benches out there. And I looked at pictures too. Like I Googled the Vermont Country Store. I've never been to the Vermont Country Store. I've never been to Vermont. Um, Maybe I'll go soonish. I don't know. My mom always wanted to go to Vermont and we've never gone there. She also wanted to go to Maine and we've never been to Maine. But it wouldn't take me long to get there. I mean, and it's no big deal. Like I actually love road trips and things like that. And like I mean, I've gone cross country to Arizona twice and back twice, so that's like 4 times. And I've been to Florida twice driving, so that's a lot shorter than going to Arizona. I think we passed through 11 or 13 states to get to Arizona. But it's just a matter of like what are we going to do when we get there? Like, Maine and Vermont are beautiful, but like where are you going to stay? Like there's hotels and stuff like that in like New England and places like that, but at the same time there's a lot of inns and things like that, and inns and like bed and breakfasts, and those places are not cheap at all. Like they really aren't cheap at all. So it's kind of like, okay, we could get there, like we could pay for gas and stuff, and we could like pay for food, but like where are we gonna stay? Because we can't be staying someplace that's like gonna cost a fortune. So, but yeah, I mean, I googled the Vermont Country Store, like I said, and I try to get a little bit of inspiration from it, but not too much. Like I said, I live in New England, so we see shops like this all the time. I don't go into them because I'm like, I'm gonna go shop at Walmart. You know what I mean? I actually went to one that's in the town that I live in because a friend of mine was like, "Let's go," and I'm like, "Okay." And there, I think we also went to like a magic shop or like a tarot shop or something like that, and I was like, "All right," which is fine. Like I'm actually somebody that I actually know how to read tarot cards. I just don't um I don't read them as much anymore, and it's always like food for thought. I don't really like go full on into like, oh my God, like the card said this, therefore that shall happen. Um but I do talk about it a little bit like with certain friends that I have, because like I have a friend who is an atheist, and she's like, I don't believe in anything, but she believes in tarot. I'm like, okay. And then I have I have several friends that they deal with a lot of anxiety, and you know, some of them are on medication, others of them aren't. And it's kind of like, I'm like, well, maybe tarot might help you, or maybe it'll give you something to focus on. Sometimes I feel like that's all somebody needs when they have anxiety. Um, it's just like to focus on certain things. I mean, obviously, there's always like the clinical, like, and like the severity level of, um, anything, but I feel like there are other alternatives that doesn't have to mean like straight up medication. But I'm old school, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm old school, like I'm old school. Like I try to deal with stuff like the way that I've always dealt with it, you know what I mean? Or probably I deal with it like the way that my parents dealt with it or something like that. Like kind of like just put your best foot forward. And I mean, it's a learning curve, but that's why I'm mentioning it, because I have friends that are my own age, and they seem to be the demographic that is like very much like struggling with anxiety and all of this stuff. And even like my niece is like 13, and she's like, I'm so anxious. And I'm like, about what? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was nervous too when I was a kid going to school, but it was nothing like to the point where it's like, I mean, I don't know, I guess people talk about it more now, But that's why I mention things like tarot, or or like maybe like some of my friends, they have trouble sleeping. I'm like, what about a cup of tea? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of like, mentioning things that like I used to use or I would use, or what are my go-tos, you know what I'm saying? So, just to give an alternative, like just in case, I don't know, just in case somebody might be having side effects to medications. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like somebody wants to go the natural route. I don't know. But that was the reason why I went into that tarot shop, and I think I got two tarot card decks. And you go into shops, like you go into small towns and you go into shops like that, and it's like you find all sorts of things, like crystals and like gems and all that kind of stuff. I did add another shelf of gems because I think I saw that there's some kind of crystal thing that are smaller than these, because these are the refined crystals, I believe, that are on that shelf. Um, that your Sims can like send off to refine, or they can I think they can refine them on the um, archaeology or whatever table from Jungle Adventures, or I have a mod in my game that allows them to do that. I don't remember which, but I'm always able to have my Sims refine them themselves if they want to. But anyway, in the Star Wars pack, there is another. There's like a set of gems or crystals. I forgot what they're used for, and I'm like, oh, let me add a shelf of that. There's also some Realm of Magic stuff that I put on the fireplace, like those orbs, or not the orbs, the familiars or something like that. And I'm like, gee, I hope these aren't like activated like on their own. I mean, you could always take them out. I just put them in there because I thought they looked cool on the fireplace, but no big deal. Um, yeah. So I mean, this is what those shops look like. They look spooky. They look old. They look vintage. I mean, you're always gonna find stuff that you wouldn't really find like in regular stores. Like you're not gonna find stuff in this shop that you find at friggin' Target or like or Walmart or something like that. So, and then I think I think the video is supposed to end soon. And then there's just gonna be photos. But some things will be a little different, like in the final like lot, because I had to go back in and change certain things and add some things because, like I said, it was like disappearing off my lot, and I'm like, what the hell is that about? So yeah, those mushrooms in the little like diamond jar that's like floating right there in the middle of the screen. Somebody made a mod, or somebody, yeah, made somebody made a mod, or somebody modified it, whatever. I forget who, but I think I reblogged it on my CC Finds page on Tumblr. That it's like a music. I mean, like your Sims can listen to music from it and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, like don't get me wrong, I love decorating and everything in The Sims, but it would be great if a lot of these things were you know, like functional. It would be awesome. This little bird thing, whatever, that I put in the corner, I think that's from the Star Wars pack. That thing is creepy as hell. Every time I put it in a build, like I always forget that it exists. But then when I see it and I'm like, I gotta use it. And when I use it, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this thing is creepy as hell. I don't know what it's about, but it's so creepy. Yeah, I was really trying to clutter up this place like hell. I wanted to put a clothes section in here. At one time, I figured let me turn it into a thrift shop, because now we have that option with the high school pack. But then I'm like, but then you're gonna have to put a tea station. And I'm like, forget it. No, it's like I'm not doing it. I'm like, I'm not making room for a tea station. I said because there is no damn tea station in a country store. I was like, just stay focused, stay on task here. Um, what did I know? You see the little black shelf thing. I didn't even realize we had those in the game. I forget what pack they come from, but yeah. My whole thing is the slots too. Like there's so many things that could have more slots and they don't have any slots. Or like there's certain shelves that you can't put stuff on top of, and I'm like, why? Like, why is that? Like, I want it to just be something that's like naturally there, like you're able to do, and you still can't do that in the game. And I'm kind of like, maybe there's a reason behind it that I don't even know. Like maybe if you put too much slots on something, like things could start glitching, or maybe, you know, there's a routing issue. I really don't know. Like my brain is not. I'm not that smart. I can't figure that stuff out. And here's some shots of what the inside looks like. Like I said, there's going to be things that your Sims can't get to, but anyway, that's the build. Thanks for watching, guys.